So here we go. Here we are. I think we're live. Yes, we're live. Hello, everybody. Put this on. Otherwise, you probably won't hear me very well. Not that you'll hear me very well anyway, because that's how we roll around here. We roll with very bad. Let's just go because we don't hear that. There we go. All right. So we roll with very bad audio. That's that's kind of my thing. So there we go. Lovely. All right. So yes. So here we are today. It's been it says it's a year and a half, I think, according to some things. It says it's a year and a half since I actually uploaded the first video to the Photographic Eye, and said hello to all you fine peeps. And so we got Ecstatic Orange in here. We got Ty Morris and Ryan Raffer and Groove hello, and Len Osman and William Lee hello from Pesagula. I don't. Who knows? We just don't know. Yes, welcome everybody. It's been awesome to have you. And I was just saying to my wife earlier that you know what will happen. I will I will sit here and it will tick over to 100,000 subs. It in the middle of the night or when I'm out tomorrow morning doing something. So I thought I would just take a moment actually to thank you all. Sincerely, really from the bottom of my heart. It has been a year and a half that has been. I would say crazy. Crazy is probably the wrong word to use in regards to this. But I remember when I uploaded my first video. I was kind of like, oh well, if I get 1,000 subs in a year, then that would be cool, and maybe we could, maybe we could carry on from there. And for a couple of months, it was like, oh, I used to get like 50 views a day, and I got 2 or 3 subs, and I was like, way, and all this kind of stuff. And I still get that feeling actually every time that I see a number tick over on the little sub tracker thing, which I think is probably working. It is kind of working. You might have to. No, it should be live. When I see that sort of thing tick over, it's great, and I can't believe that actually. There are. I think about it in football terms that there's a whole stadium of people who like the channel enough to say that's awesome. To kind of go. I like this channel enough to hit subscribe and listen to the things that Alex has to say, and I really I have to say I really absolutely appreciate it from the bottom of my heart that you guys, everybody, you guys who are watching now, and everybody who has supported the channel. There's been like 4.5 million views or something. It's just like crazy. It's been really great to to see the response that's from here, to get the emails that come through. And I do apologize if I've not had a chance to respond to all the emails. I mean, there's so many, and I really appreciate every single one. But unfortunately, a 4-year-old I'm responsible for their school run and things like that. It makes life a little bit tricky to kind of keep on top of these things. Don V Filmora tutorials. Yes, thank you very much. It's awesome. I say YouTube has been trolling me. Because obviously we had a nice sort of uplift at the beginning of the year, and then the last month or so, the subs have just been ticking over. Because it wants me to like really work for it, so it's been great, and I have to say it's absolutely crazy to see where everybody is coming from in the world. We've got Dean here. He's from Grimsby. We got Yannick from Germany. We've got Cody saying hello from America. We got Nitin Bhardwaj Bhardwaj from India. So I mean, there's a whole slew of people. It's crazy, and really, yeah, it's, who knows where we're going to be in like 10 years time. But I just wanted to say, take this opportunity to introduce you to my creaky chair, because every time I move it makes a noise. I don't know if you can hear it. Somebody's saying lacquer. Did I see a lacquer in there from William Ryan? Yeah, it's been lacquer seeing some semi-South African content. It has indeed. We've got all sorts of France, Australia, New York, the Netherlands. It's dude, every single one of you, thank you for being here. That's going to be like the kind of theme for the next ramble that we have is, thank you. I really do appreciate it, and obviously it's been a growth. Initially I started off and I thought, well, I'll just do biographies of photographers whom I enjoy, and see what happens, because that was kind of the point of the channel at the beginning, was to sort of say to people, look, these are photographs that I enjoy talking about. I like the photography as a whole. I'm not that fussed about gear, as you probably know, and I missed that. I miss talking about photographers and kind of the more artsy stuff about photography, and I felt that, maybe there's other people who also want to just talk about the more highbrows, maybe not the right word, but the more aesthetic-y kind of concept. And look at this, every time we do a live stream I lose subscribers, and you can see it's like I've gone down too. It's crazy every time we see these things, but you know what, you guys who stick with me, it's awesome. Such is the life of somebody who's on YouTube, I suppose. Not that I'm a huge thing, because it's not. But yeah, this is the sort of thing saying, I want to get to 100,000, and today I must have lost about 6 or 7 subscribers just because they see great numbers. Is 70. This is why we shouldn't chase views and we shouldn't chase subscribers, but it's nice to celebrate a milestone, and what have you. So yeah, so that was kind of the thing with the channel, is that, it's been great to talk about photographers, and to talk about photography, the why of photography. It sometimes it drifts a little bit off piste, as it were, and that's kind of me also finding my footing on YouTube. This is obviously this is fairly new to me, and things change, and you try things out, and some of them stick and some of them don't. Like a lot of things in life, YouTube is a game, and obviously, as fantastic as it is to share the content, to share photographers with you. I'm pointing at my books back there. To share all these kind of things. Obviously, it's beneficial for the channel. The more people who we can reach and say to people, look, gear is important, but there are other ways of thinking about that. And so you have to kind of play the YouTube game. You have to make content or make titles and something else specifically that, for want of a better word, sort of, I don't want to say reach the lowest common denominator, because that's kind of the wrong sort of idea, but that they kind of reach an audience that's slightly wider, than your current thing, and so there's been some hit and misses and stuff, but you guys have stuck with me, so that's I love that very much. We got Niels Kamp, we got this with Dean and Laurent Bellini and Ultra Remix. Sorry, there we go. Mr. Nadine saying my videos are almost philosophical. It's funny you should mention that. There was a video. There was a post on Reddit, on the photography subreddit. It was about 6 months ago, and somebody said that myself and I said Ted Forbes, the Art of Photography, were the more philosophical channels. and I thought, hey Warren, how you doing? He's just here to see me waffle some nonsense. And it's funny because I you know, obviously I don't know if I necessarily think that I am philosophical about photography. I think occasionally I can wax philosophical about things. You know, sometimes I tell you what, yeah, it'll be time to subscribe and I start being sponsored by VPNs. So here's a word from NordVPN. You know, come on. Do you know you need to? Although, in all seriousness, you do need to take your password security seriously. Okay, that is, I have it on good authority from people in the know, you know, who know about these things, that you should take it seriously. You know, yeah. So yesterday was Memorial Day in the USA. I don't know these things. I don't have my finger on the pulse of public holidays in America land. But I seeing as a third of the viewership is from the colonies, and that's how I refer to America with all love and hope, because I am very fond of America. I have a very dear friend who lives there, and I'm hopefully fingers crossed, if my passport comes back from the passport office in time, we'll be there in July. So that'd be pretty cool. So we got a question from Chopper. Have you ever seen that it's pre-mounted dark? Actually, there are some. There are some books. I'm thinking there was a Dan Winters book specifically that you can buy. You could in the past buy a book that had a print in it that you could that you could print, or that you could frame. And there were some others as well. I forget. The best place to find these sort of things is to follow photographers. If you follow photographers who are actively putting out work, who are still working in the community, as it were, you can often find them doing things. I have a Bob Carlos Clark signed edition of Shooting Sex, which was signed I think about 4 years before his death, and that was only 50 quid when it came out, albeit that was in 2001. And Sarah, if you're watching, thank you for buying that, and I'll see you again soon. You know, but it's all those kind of things. And then Rankin, who's a famous photographer here in the UK, because I'm on his mailing list, he was doing signed editions of things. So if you follow photographers, they do offer these things for sale through their own channels. You know, going to places like Amazon and stuff, you're really not going to find them. So I hope that sort of follows. So Chopper, yeah, if you're looking to pick up these things, you know, follow photographers who you like and see what they come up with. You know, a lot of them are quite into buying prints. Anyway, cheers. This is a bottle of champagne in the wrong glass, because I'm sorry, we don't have champagne glasses. So in the words of Uncle Monty from Whitnall and I hope its shape will not offend your palate. Anyway, cheers, and thank you for all of your support. He says you can see that's quite flat because we've been watching Stranger Things tonight, because I quite like that. Yeah, so we got Memorial Day, the Mind Blank. There's some lovely things. Hi from Scotland, Maureen. Thank you ever so much. My mum's a soap dodger from Glasgow, and I spent some time in Edinburgh. I'm really very fond of Scotland. Got Total Newbit, number 73. Do you know what, dude? We all started. At zero, basically. You know, it doesn't really matter where you start, as long as you're here, and you know, this is always great. We've got New Zealand from a French cottage. I did just like, what are you doing awake? What time is it? It's like 5 o'clock in the morning, and you like get onto YouTube. We've got who else? We've got Nathaniel Kayas. You're asking about a collab with Ted Forbes. Ted's, I don't want to put words into Ted's mouth, but out of everybody who I've ever mentioned, or you know, we've talked about stuff on the channel and things, Ted is Ted. You know, and I'll leave it at that. I like his videos. He has a lot to say about interesting sort of stuff. But yeah, anyway. We'll sort of see. Thank you, Ed Lick. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I think that's the thing with all of us. I'm going to do a video coming up shortly about the sort of things that I should have said. To myself when I was younger, to say, look, this is kind of the photography game that you're getting into. Things, and one of those things is that I should have spent more time making photographs that I wanted to make. Not that I said that I made everything for everybody else, and actually probably during that period I made a lot of stuff that was more self-centered than it ever has been. But it was more or less like kind of not worrying about things. Look at this. This is live streams in action. My sub count is going backwards. Look at this. We're gonna get down to 0 tonight. Yeah, we're gonna stay here all night and just get to 0. It's kind of a thing. I'll be maybe you can get a plaque from YouTube for like going to like almost 100,000 then down to 0. Anyway, yeah. So Warren, I have the friend that I'm going to visit. Lives in Maryland, so I'll be around sort of that way, and what have you. It's awesome to have you guys. Lord LS Squared, 1960, St. Louis. It's great. Long Johnson's asking about gear, dude. I would say the 72-200 f2.8. A long lens, that's a long thing, it's just heavy. Anyway, we've got some Camille Speck from Germany, Guten Tag, or Guten Abend. I said it was Abend, it's hardly Guten Tag, it's Abend now. Take a break, take a break. We've got Tanya, you and I, Vorna Valley, I'm pretty sure. Not that we didn't know, I think we've had a chat on email and stuff. But yeah, I think Tanya. Memory seems to call from our email conversations that you lived in Vorna Valley. I lived in Vorna Valley, Penleaf Street, back when it was all dirt roads and half house primary and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, now she's in BC. She's got Southern California, the legend. Well, thank you for saying so. Bern, I visited Bern when I was a young lad. That was always nice. Tim, it's funny. If you're desperately wanting to see some of my photography, if you search for Alex Kilby, and I'll put my name in. He says, "Oh my God, I can hear my friend in America rolling her eyes going, oh my God, why would you tell me your real name?" But you can find my name. If you no, you're not very late, Calvin, come on, get a glass and come and sit down. If you go on Facebook and check my name, my photographs are public, so you don't need to follow me as a friend, or I don't need to accept you as a friend, and that will give you an idea about some of my non-portrait stuff. I don't really kind of post it too much, but anyway, that's a thing. I think Warren, you said Jocko like New York sort of way, something like that. And Tanya's saying yes, she was in Halfway House. So how's it, Tanya? It was in Penleaf Street back in like 84, 80. Or we moved there June 84, when Halfway House was, well, it was what it was. you know what I mean. We got Max from DC. I like DC, but as my friend used to live in Silver Spring. And it says, and Chopper Carson says my early videos were great. Were already great. Oh, okay. So there's no surprise you hit the 100k mark. So what he's saying here is, in implication, he's saying my early videos were really good, and now the latest stuff is a bit. You've got second album syndrome. Something. Oh, really nets. Is that was down near the? I'm trying to think. Really. So with me and Tanya now having a private conversation, that's very rude. Was that down near the reed beds? That actually, when they burnt in like 1985, 84, that was me and a guy called Ryan Burnett, and we made a little fire, and it may have got out of hand. Anyway, I didn't say that. Right. I got a cup of tea. It is, yeah, Ralph. It is. I thought, often I'm usually not a numbers guy. Absolutely, you're quite right. I don't think we should do this for other people, but I do feel that there is a time. Of course, I would say this now because I'm doing exactly this, but there is a time to celebrate your achievements. That if you do something that that you feel proud of, then by all means say, do you know what, this is awesome, and I have to say, it's. I really, it means so much to me that the guys are here. You're here. The other 99,982, and it's see up and down, up and down, up and down. But this is if you focus. This is probably a good case in point. If you focus on these numbers too much, and you go, oh, it's too much. Oh no, it's gone up 4, and now it's gone down. Does this change how you appreciate the content? Does this change how you feel about your photography? Do these numbers of likes and things like that? See, it's gone to 3. Has the channel changed, right? And stuff like that. No, it hasn't, right? It's a number. I hopefully we'll get to 100, and that'll be awesome. But it doesn't change the channel. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't mean that prior to 100,000 is like it's a crap channel, and then after 100,000 is kind of cool or something like that. It just doesn't change. Nothing here. We've got Tony. Is coffee before work, 7 o'clock in the morning? Yeah, take the day off, Tony. Let's just say it's just Blader's low cup or something like that. We've got Stuart Fleck, thank you. Stuart, you saying his reviews and exposure to photographers and insights. And yes, yeah, Tanya, yeah, we were making fires and things, and it just it got out of hand. But we kept that under our noses for many years. So it was all kind of we've got always for a hot New Jersey, Groove Hole. Yes, I do critiques. We do like a live critique on a Sunday. There was supposed to be one on last Sunday or this previous Sunday, but unfortunately I've had some other things going on, so I didn't have a chance to sort it out. But I do, and it's like an epic session. It's like. They're like 5 hours or something, and so it's quite long going. It's always thing. It's nice to sort of say, yeah, to see the guys, and again, obviously we go back to the numbers thing. It's such a thing in the real world, isn't it? I say the real world, talking about social media. And thinking that social media is the real world, because it isn't. It absolutely isn't. I seem to. If you go back to sort of photo school days, and when I was starting starting as a photographer, it wasn't. I want hundreds of thousands of likes or something like that. It was like I want 10 people to like my work, or I want the people in the room with me to like it, and and that was the student sort of thing, because we used to do in-person critiques, so everybody put their work up on the wall. And I'm trying to think, there was I think by the time we got to third year there was probably 15, no, there wasn't even 15, there was like 10 people in my class, and that was kind of thing, you wanted, out of that 10, if half the people liked it, that was pretty cool. That was like, wow, amazing. And it's kind of, social media, I think it's great in a number of ways, because we can reach a lot of people. I can reach all you guys. I mean, holy crap, I'm talking to people all over the world here, and it doesn't cost anything, and it's wonderful to reach out and kind of invite myself into your home. Like a bad smell, but conversely, you guys are coming. You're reaching out and you're going. I appreciate the work. You have given me inspiration. You've encouraged me to pick up a camera. You've encouraged me to continue with the thing that we do, which we all love, which is taking photographs in whichever way that we feel is appropriate. And I love the fact that social media or YouTube has given us the opportunity to connect, to speak, albeit in a very one-sided conversation with each other, and I love it. And if I had never done this, if I had never had the support of you guys, I would never have spoken. Like as you regular viewers of the channel will know, I'm a huge fan of Obi Oberholzer, and I did that interview with him a couple of weeks ago. And he's invited me to his house. I was like, that's awesome. We're going to go visit, because I'm going to go be in Cape Town in December, and go up there, and because I got that. So you guys have given me the chance to meet some of my heroes, and that's I love this. I think it's absolutely. That sounds very self-centered, but it's all because of you. Not you guys. It's you. It's the person on the side of this camera. That I absolutely adore, because you allow me to talk about the thing that actually I enjoy the most talking about. I have had moments in my career as a photographer over many years where I have been concerned about my business, my portrait photography business and stuff like that, and I've been worried because I have nothing else to fall back on. I thought I had nothing else to fall back on, because this is really all I know. I worked in the theatre when I was in my 20s, but aside from working in the theatre as a lighting engineer and doing photography, I have not done anything else. So the fact that I can connect, or that you connect with me, I think is probably more appropriate. It really gives me the same thrill that I used to get when I would operate a show and there would be an audience of like 600 people, 1,200 people, whatever, or 50,000, in some cases. And they weren't there for me. They were there for the experience, and I think that's kind of thing. I've always felt that you're not really here for me. You're kind of here because we are enjoying photography together. And as we sort of look forward from 100,000 into the next sort of sort of growth of the studio, not the studio, the channel, just a business, me talking about the studio, then I think it would be nice to continue with that sort of connection of just talking about the thing we all love, that we all care about. So we got a mega pint. Was that a mega pint? I don't know. I must have missed something. We got Tony. It's our community thing. The parts make a whole. This is the thing. It is nice to say. I mean, we've got MTK who's saying it recommends this channel so many people. MTK, you're saying about lowly mobile shooter and stuff like that. Do you know what? It's like the cameras that a lot of us actually started with. The analog. In the wet darkroom days. It was. Those cameras were nothing. They're a box that moves film in front of a mirror. They're nothing special. It's what you do with it. The camera is merely a tool. you know, whether you have a little iPhone MacGuffin sort of thing, or you have that EOS R5 versus Nikon, which one is better? Nikon has destroyed things. Camera does make a photographer. You know, it is absolutely what you do with it. You know, thank you, John. Long Johnson has asked the question. I wonder, can one make a living off of YouTube with channel with 100 subs? The short answer to that is yes. It is. It's a living of sorts. I live in a garret. In a rundown shackle thing, and I heat the can of baked beans over a still live. Let me just reconnection installed. There we go. Okay, right. There we go. Okay, so it says it's still streaming. There we go. Yes, it's sorry, I got a notification from OBS saying something about not. Oh, I know it. There we go. I think somebody has been watching movies on the Wi-Fi at the same time. That's probably my wife jumping up. But anyway, it's you're saying making a living for, yeah. So you live in a garret and you can make your living. It's better than a gaming channel. I'm in a couple of Discord servers talking about improving the YouTube channels and stuff like that, and they get like 400,000, 500,000 views a video, right? Which is like, I was like, wow, that'd be amazing, and they made like $10. It's like, really? That's crazy. $10 for like a 500,000 view video? Wow. So it's the thing. So I would encourage it. I mean, if you want to, if you are interested in, making a channel about your own photography, stuff like that, I would encourage you do it. It is not hard. If you can take photographs, you can record video, right? And you guys have watched my videos. You know that my audio can be a little bit suspect. It's not a major thing. But if you want to make videos, do it. Just do it, man. Nobody's stopping you. Nobody is going to sit there and say, it's a whole. You can't do it because, whatever. People may have said to me, you can't do it. Why would anybody want to talk about that? Blah, blah, blah. But, it does matter. But, Long Johnson. The monetization views thing, it basically boils down to who watches your videos. Gaming channels is watched by teenagers. Teenagers don't have any money to spend. And obviously the demographic who broadly watch the content here is wider, and it's older with more disposable income, so the ad revenue is better, but it's not eye-wateringly, the guys like Mr. Beast and people who get like 50, 100 million views on a video, they're raking the bucks. Millions of dollars a month, but that's not what we do, man. I could talk about gear, make millions of dollars a month. So today we're going to talk about this gaffer. This is not actually gaffer tape. This is PVC insulation tape, which I bought by mistake, thinking it was gaffer tape because it's black. And I just picked it up off the shelf. I wasn't thinking, and then I got home and I'm like, this is not gaffer tape. This is some stupid thing that doesn't work for what I wanted. But that's what happens when you go shopping in in B&Q, which is like a Home Depot, with a 4-year-old. in tow. You just kind of go, black thing on shelf, looks like gaffer tape, I will pick it up. So it's all sorts of things. But yeah, if you want to to create your own channel, I'm happy to do like a little short video just saying 17 mistakes that I made if I was starting my YouTube channel again. Oh my god, have you done number 6? We could do something like that. Have you done number 6, which is a mistake? Because I bet you have. It's all sorts of things like that. So here we go. So we're at 987, or 99,987, which sounds a bit more impressive. So I think it's one of the things that that I really do. It's all right. See, Russ has showed up late. Shh, don't tell him. Don't tell anybody. All right. We just been killing time till you got here, Russ. It's cool, man. All right. I say Russ, man. I don't know. So I say man a lot because it was growing up in South Africa in the 80s. It was like, hey man, that kind of thing. Yes. Do you know what? I am a big fan of Bob Ross. I like Bob Ross. He is a happy man. The documentary about Bob Ross, I think it was on Netflix, was very interesting because, unsurprisingly, after he passed away, there was a lot of brouhaha and some behind the scenes wrangling about his estate. And things, and I thought it was very interesting. But yeah, if you do get a chance to to watch that documentary on Bob Ross, I would recommend it. I think it's a nice sort of guy, and I enjoy his stuff. And I think his approach to painting is probably that's something that I would say is not lost or wouldn't be out of place in photography, in so much as like he has had a rough, I say I'm going to make some huge generalizations. He had some rough understandings about like traditional approaches and traditional things, but he then found a technique that he enjoyed, because obviously he didn't invent the wet painting thing, and he just ran with it, and he introduced other people into the joy of painting. Hey, that's a good show. That's a good title for a show. And that's kind of what I would like to tap into some of that with the channel, is that none of us are going to be an Irvin Penn. None of us are going to be Annie Leibovitz or Avedon or any of the big names, and that's fine, so long as we make work that we're happy about making, that we enjoy it, that we go, I like that photograph that I took enough to put it up on the wall, to enjoy these things, and that's what I want. I want you to do. I want you to be happy to pick up a camera and just try stuff out and not worry too much about the perfection. If you want to go that route, if you want to go the Group F64 thing and be ultra perfectionist, then by all means do so. But also, there are other people who don't really fuss about that thing too much. They're quite happy to play with the Holga and or toy camera or Lomo photography, whatever you want to call it. It's all 100%. It's all good. Bob was a storyteller, and I enjoyed him very much, and I will always remember introducing my wife to his work in a hotel suite in Frankfurt, of all places, when we were like sitting in the hotel after a long day of wandering around Frankfurt, and oh look, there's Bob Ross on AFN, and as you do back in those days when you used to have to watch whatever was on the local TV in foreign countries. Like we We watched a thing about people moving to Spain from Germany in German when they were speaking French and then speaking Spanish, and then being converted into English between the two because it was the only language the two of them spoke, and then the English was being converted into German. It was like, ah. But we watched an hour of that stuff. It was like, anyway. Yeah, it's like, just make your own thing, make your stuff, just create photographs. And if you have, so we're in the mid 80s now, 1986. That was a happy time. Stranger Things. See, I'm on Stranger Things. Huff Photo. There's a name for a while. Hey, Huff Photo. There we go. So where is Huff Photo from? Is it Huff Photo or Hoof Photo? I don't know, because you've got two F's there. So I kind of like a Huff Photo, but is it Huff Photo or is it Huff Oto, or who knows? I'm sure he will tell us in a second. Yeah, it's so we were just talking about Bob Ross and I mentioned Bob Ross on the channel before, and there was a couple of people go, I can't believe you talked about Bob Ross. How dare you talk about Bob Ross on a channel that's all about art? And it's like, well, why not? Because he was kind of happy to do his own thing, and I think that's what we do. And Calvin has sort of said here that he used to. So I'm assuming, Calvin. I think I can sort of see it's Huff. There is Huff Photo. Okay, we sort of get. It's hard because we do create stuff, and we want people to say, I like you, I like what you do, I like what you make, I like the thing that you took, and whatnot, and that's all kind of. It is nice, and I appreciate that there is a lot of that, because we all want that. We all want some validation. Maybe is validation the word? Yeah. Okay. We want people to validate us and what we do. We want people to like it. And as we go through life, the people whose opinions we want to use have as validation change. It's all sorts of stuff like that. Chopper Carson has asked an interesting question here, which is, how many painters have also done photography based art? I want to say Chuck Close was a start. I don't know if that's probably a thing. I mean, Chuck Close is obviously a thing. He's a painter. See, Warren, I've got gin and tonic, I've got almonds, Alesto Selection almonds, which are delicious as a snack, it says, and the dregs of a bottle of champagne, which is kind of where I'm slurring a bit. I think you're right. This is a validation. We want to know, because it's unquantifiable. We can't tick boxes with the photography that what we create. We can submit it into competitions. We can submit it into sort of galleries and stuff like that. But there isn't like a checkbox. It's not like a lot of things that we were taught at school growing up. There's in maths especially, that you're not allowed to just suck the answer out of your thumb. If somebody says to you, do long division of 6,000 by 3.5. You can't just go, it's whatever. And if somebody can work that out, please let us know in the comments, because I can't. Right? But you have to show the process. You go through boom, boom, and your teacher gives you marks, goes to right. But any sort of creative process is not like that. It's not quantifiable. It's not something that you can just sit there and go, well, today I took photographs that ticked 4 out of the 5 boxes. You need to kind of you need to be happy with yourself, or yourself needs to be happy with what you took. But then again, you sort of sit there and you go, oh, what, that's too easy. I like what I took today, or I didn't like what I photographed today. So you look for other people to tell you that it was okay, to tell you that it was fine, that it was good, or what have you. And especially in the early days when you're with a camera, that I think a lot of us put too much emphasis on what other people think about the work that we create, what we put together, and unfortunately, especially for a lot of people who are new to photography or coming back to it, and who are looking for assistance, looking for direction, looking for help online, there are far too many people who are happy to tell you what's wrong. Oh, you should have done this because I would have done that, or I would have done the next thing. All the guys who I've had the privilege of talking to about their photography, the thing that I've stressed from the word go is that it is about their journey and not mine. I can sort of say, look, have you considered this point of view? Have you considered that point of view? If I were there, I might have changed this. Is that something that you think might be an interesting avenue to pursue? If not, whatever. So, but the problem is for most people, when you go on, and you put it on a Facebook group, or you put it on a Twitter, or whatchamacallit, like a Reddit sub post, or a subreddit. There are too many people who want to show you what they know, right? And they're using your work as a platform to show off their knowledge, right? So let's say last week they learned something about rules of thirds. So they're going to go and find all the pictures that they can find that don't conform to rule of thirds, and they're going to go, oh look, but you're sure you should do the rule of thirds because look how much I know about rule of thirds, and it's stuff like that, and we don't want to do that. Why would we want to do that? We're all big enough and ugly enough to sort of go, do you know what, let's create some work that we like, and if somebody else likes it, that's a bonus. If somebody else doesn't like it, then that's cool. That's also like so George has given me a handy out from that ramble. Thank you, George. Asking if there's many photos because I seem to favourite a black and white. The simple reason behind the black and white thing, he says eating a an almond, because that's what you do on live streams. You just eat nuts that get stuck in your throat. The thing with the black and white pictures is that a lot of the photography that I enjoy, a lot of photographers I find interesting at this stage in my life, are, for want of a better word, old school. They're from the early days of photography, where they were experimenting with things, where they were trying different ideas out, that they were pushing their boundaries, and by definition, most of that work is black and white. I do like color photography. I don't have a preference particularly between black and white and color. I find color work from the sort of the 60s, 70s and the early 80s, especially the early 80s, very interesting. The 80s probably more so because there's a feel to it, because it feels like it's all transparency work that is then ever so slightly under polished, as it were. because obviously we're talking sort of pre-digital days and stuff like that. And transparency works. Like if you look at the work of Patrick, and I will absolutely mispronounce his last name, but Patrick Christ. If I think about it, I can't say it. Demechelier. Warren, you know who I'm talking about. If I look at his work, those transparencies have a kind of very wet feeling, which sounds weird, and it's they have a transparent feeling to them. It's a very odd, an odd thing to sort of discuss, to sort of try and put your handle on. But if you've ever shot transparency film, and especially sort of medium format and larger format, you kind of know what I'm talking about. If it's high key, so there's lots of white or blank spaces in the transparency, the image seems quite luminescent because it's is that I knew, you know who I'm talking about. Pronounce Demechelier. There we go. Which is not how you pronounce it at all. I could talk about Lartigue or Latrigue when I spend it. But yeah, and it's weird. And the thing is, when I've been looking at sort of subjects to talk about in the photography, it's either been very extreme stuff that in terms of age, so it's kind of like very old work, or more new work. So the 70s, 80s, 90s after fashion doesn't really get much of a look in, although it should. So it's kind of sort of a thing. Alex B, I am you say you're right, I'm a joy to spend time with. Well, thank you. It is a pleasure to spend time with you too. And we've got Gordon, who's asking about other people's opinions. That kind of whole thing about people saying like black and white, what color? I can't decide. Tell me, is it black and white? Is it color? Which one? Why would you do that? What works for you? I get it, that sometimes it's hard to, you want other people's feedback and stuff like that. But fundamental choices like that you should have made when you're taking pictures. When you're making the picture, when you're taking the photograph, that's when you decide if it's going to be color or black and white. Not when you stick it up for random people to take a thumb suck and see who likes the most. I'm going to be quite crass here. Have some balls, man. Have the courage of your conviction to say, this is how this photograph should be. It's there we go. It's one of the. I know that's not necessarily you're not asking whether it should be, but that is. I've always been surprised when you see that kind of question. It's like who knows? I don't know. We've also said white is clear, right? Yeah, in transparencies, anything that's lighter is basically just kind of base in the transparency. So it does have a very weird kind of feel when you look at it over a light table. It's very, very strange sort of thing. No, it's my pleasure, Gordon. This is kind of the thing. It's we should do more of these. I think I have there's a lady who. One of the things I'm very slack about, which I wish that I was better about. Is responding to all your comments, because I do read the majority of them, and often I see them, they pop through when I'm on a school run or something like that, and I think, I don't respond to that, and I don't get a chance to come back. So I've asked a friend of mine to help me take up some of this slack. And at least reach out and say, look, you have been heard. I heard, and respond to some of your comments. And she's my wife has chopped in from the other room. Demechelier. See, my wife is now. She knows who I'm talking about. anyway, so she's going to jump in, and I was thinking about, you know, what to do, and I thought it might be nice to touch on this conversational thing, you know, with the channel, because I like this, you know, very much. That it would be great to get, you know, ask you guys, you know, we've got questions, you know, excuse me, you know, Gordon asked about the color black and white sort of thing. There are these I won't say they're like the basic questions, but they're questions that sort of pop through all of our minds, and you go, what is this? And as a thing, the reason with a whole lot of YouTube stuff is that a lot of things never get talked about because they are not view worthy. And if you are going to invest time making a video and and it's not going to get 100,000 views, or it's not going to get this, or it's not going to get that, then it for a lot of people it will not get made, because for people who are down the bottom of the rung, for want of a better word, you know, who get like maybe a few thousand views or something, they're not going to make any money from doing that. And the people who are at the higher end, and I'm talking about much higher than me, you know, who are doing kind of like, you know, 100, 200, 300,000, 400,000, a million, 2.5 million views a video, they are making a video that can take a week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I was watching a video today where the guy, he spends 3 days of 14-hour days writing the script for a video. So he needs to make sure that video, and this was on the photography channel, but he needs to make sure that video gets some eyeballs, because that's his job. So there's lots of topics, especially in the niche or the genre, or niche. I say niche because I speak the Queen's English. But that's the sort of thing. Some of you say niche, I say tomato, you say tomato, I say potato, you say herb. So there we go. But you know, so there's a lot of topics that don't ever get discussed because they're not enough of a video. But I thought it might be nice to get some questions, get some. Well, we're into the 90s, grunge is coming. Grunge. 1991. Still feels like the 80s though, doesn't it? It's like, you guys had this thing where you kind of like, you have like decades, they change numerically, but there's like a layover for a couple of years. So 1991, 92 still felt like the 80s. 93, 94, 95 we're now into kind of like the proper 90s, and then, you know, sort of thing. Anyway, so I thought it might be nice for Laura, for that is who I'm talking about, to maybe read out a question. So, you know, Living Texas Drones says that they have loved photography for a long time. To them, looking at what they want to photograph is as important as taking the picture. And they are quite right. And then I would, you know, we respond to, we talk, look at that, we're down to the 90s. Yeah. That's so cool. Isn't it cool how it goes up and then it goes down, it goes up and it goes down. That's the thing. I think, you know, it is lovely to, especially for people who do photograph out in the wild. Oh, we're back into 91. For people who photograph out in the wild, and who are in the landscape, I think you have a rare pleasure that you can exist in a place, or in a space, in a time, and this goes for urban things and all sorts, and let that emotion wash over you. One of my absolute joys is being in an environment, let's say a large environment, so like a landscapey kind of thing, of just myself with my camera. And back in the days when I smoked, I used to like just sit there on a rock or something like that, and be distant from whatever, and just have a smoke, and just wait for the place to speak to me. for me to sort of connect with it and for it to reach out. And cities do this in a similar sort of way, but ever so slightly differently. Cities are very busy, but you can be utterly alone in a city, and pick out the things that the thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands maybe, other people walk past every single day, that they don't notice it. They don't give it a second glance because they are reading their paper, or they are listening to their headphones, or their nose is in a phone or something like that, and you are the only person who noticed that thing that you photograph. And that's how do you put that into words? How do you explain to somebody that feeling about being privy to a moment that is yours and yours alone, and that you have had the pleasure and the privilege of photographing, so that somebody else can share in that? You know, that's kind of thing. I should write this stuff down. Do you know, if I had a channel, I could make videos about this kind of thing. Look at that, $9.95. It's you know, it's Adam has asked about when I refer to myself as a photographer, and that the title feels like it carries a lot of weight as a beginner. If you take a picture, you're a photographer. Yeah, there we go. I don't think there's a title. I don't think there's, you know, it's like here in the UK, if you're a painter, you could be part of the Royal Academy. So you could say Alex Kirby RA because you're part of the Royal Academy. And you get some sort of like, you know, kudos, you know. As somebody who takes photographs, which is a democratic kind of art form, because it is not limited to a you don't have to have a skill. Obviously you can have a skill with anything, but you don't need a base level of skill to take a photograph. You need that. Right, it says, look at that, it says sleep well on it. What is it? Because I have sleep well. I'm supposed to go to bed. You don't need a base level of skill. You don't need to spend years practicing something. You just need a tool in your hand, and the ability to use that tool is very easy. So in many respects, the word photographer, I think, is kind of redundant. You are somebody who takes photographs. There isn't a requirement for you to do certain things to be a photographer. You just take photographs. My my son took, I won't say it was his first photograph because it wasn't, but he took some pictures the other day on my phone, which I think, you know, I'm going to say that is his self-portrait. So let's just say I don't think Richard Avedon needs to worry just at the moment. So could we say, that could you say he's a photographer? Well, he took a photograph, so why isn't he? 94. See, we're going down. Go up. Go up. So he takes photographs, and he's taking a photograph. So he's a photographer. But I think that the label that we put on ourselves often holds you back, especially as a beginner, because you feel now that if you label yourself as a photographer, you're now running with the big dogs, right? That you are running with whoever you look up to as a photographer, and you compare themselves. All of a sudden you've put on that blazer. of I am now the same as that person over there. And you're not. You're your own person. William Eggleston is not to everybody's taste, right? He is he's controversial. He's what we call in the UK Marmite photographer. So Marmite is like a yeast spread, and it's very divisive. Either you love it or you hate it. In fact, that's their marketing tool. And he gives again, excuse my my crassness, but he gives zero shits what people think about his photography. He says, you like it or you don't. Am I a photographer? I am a photographer. I don't care if you think I'm not a photographer or not, right? And yeah, and that's kind of the thing that I think, you know, ultimately as a new photographer, 998. It's oh my god, it's been so long. It's been so long. Sorry, I'm getting silly excited. I'm going to take a screenshot of you guys. Look at that, 998. Boop boop boop. Right. Just text all our friends right now. Yeah. Everybody, right, on the count, 999, look at that, right, on the count of 3, everybody unsub. Right, so it is, I think, you know, it's just it's all the 9s. Yeah, you're quite right, Tanya. I can't even say, what is 9 in Afrikaans? It's nichen, it's my wife's gonna laugh when I say it's nichen, something like that. So it is. Oh, you see, look at that. See how it trolls us. Do you think that person knows? Do you think that person knows that they were the one? Who is it? Hey, look at that. Right. Do you hey! Wait, it's Lucas. Well done, Lucas. It's not Lucas. Who knows? Wait, thank you ever so much, guys. Do you know what? I really, we're going to do like a little self-portrait. Let's do a self-portrait-y thing. No, not a bit. Where's the turnaround thing? Not live off. Yeah, there we go. There we go. We're going to do a little self-portrait. Whee! There we go. 9. No, oh, now it's turned back to 999,000. Just cheeky. All right, we'll have to wait again. There we go. Because he's now somebody. There we go. Thank you, everybody. Hey, there we go. 100,001. Ooh. 2. Yeah. So 2. There we go. Thank you ever so much, guys. I really. It's been a long time coming. A year and a half. Now it's 2001. See, people are looking at that. Somebody keeps subbing and unsubbing. Something like that. It'll be someone saying. Imposter syndrome. Strictly Marco, there is a video coming up about imposter syndrome, so I will talk about it. But yeah, look at it. It goes up and down, Right, so everybody, yeah, so now we've got 100,000, thank you. How quickly can we get to 0? That's the question. Nobody ever makes a video about that. Nobody. Hey, 999. See, we get to do this all night. We get to go up and down. So we celebrate every time it goes up to 100,000. We just go, way! Yeah. But it's thank you. I really, it does mean a huge amount. It really is. It's one of those things. 100,000. I do. I get a patch. I get a silver play button. I was just telling my folks today, and they were 99,000. Somebody on this stream is doing this. They want to see me. Somebody's just because it's going up and down, up and down. Now there's a big. See, even there's a hornet or something that's outside wants to come in. Hey! So it's like that thing from Spaced. 102. There we go. It really. No, I really do appreciate, guys. It is so heartwarming and so he says, smacking. See, Shana, you're supposed to be in bed. You see, yeah, Cat Lady 74. Everybody in the street. That's my wife, and she is 103. She is very special to me, and she is very supportive of the channel, and what have you. So, Sean, yeah, thank you. Now go to bed because you won't sleep. You have to get up early. It does mean a great deal to me. Sometimes I feel a bit lost with the channel, and sometimes I feel like nobody's listening, but you guys are there, and I wouldn't be here where we are, and the channel wouldn't be here without you guys here. I think it is absolutely. It means so very much to me that that you enjoy listening to me. Whenever I talk to people, who've known me for a while and stuff like that, the theme that comes out is always, I cannot believe that people like listening to me talk. It's like, especially when we talk. My son hates my singing. So the fact that 103,000 people, although it's more because like kind of almost 30,000 people have unsubbed. That many people have kind of you're all there. We got all these people, and I think back to the very first time I did a video that I was like, ooh, what if nobody watches? And nobody did. So that was kind of cool. I was kind of lucky at the beginning that I posted a thing on Facebook, as most people do who start a new channel. Go, hey, I'm starting a new channel. And a lot of my friends on Facebook are photographers. So it kind of did a decent kickstart of the thing. But something else which I've never mentioned on the channel, which actually sort of drew my attention, my university, or the Technicon that I went to, more appropriately, more correctly. I'm actually on. They haven't. They reached out to me about a year ago after seeing the channel. Cheers, we're under 1,000. They reached out to me and said, as part of the alma mater, would you like to be on our advisory board for the photography class? And I said, yeah, that's pretty cool. And it turns out there's a whole bunch of there's people. It's like the two of the people on the advisory board are my ex-lecturers, which is pretty cool. Who go, hey, you're like a film star. That's pretty cool. One of the other guys is a person who was a year ahead of me at photo school, or a year behind me rather. And the head of the department is one of my old lecturers as well. So it's very interesting to be on there, and it's great to be able to help people. And I think this is kind of this thing that ultimately what this boils down is that I want to continue to help you guys enjoy your photography, to find new ways of expressing yourself through your photography, of enriching the way that you see the world and the way that you can express yourself through whatever medium, whatever tool that you choose to. There are other channels who do really great work about, the technical bits, about how to translate technically what you see and how you feel and things into the. But if you can't feel that thing, if you can't touch it, if you can't be part of it, if you cannot envision it in your mind in the first place, then no amount of technical ability is going to get you there. And you guys were trolling me on the channel because I can see it now, because now the up and down and the subscribe. There's one more. It's gonna get. But that's kind of that is the thing. That is what keeps me moving all the stuff from the cupboard under the stairs into the lounge, setting it up, having to get rid of all the flies because we live in an old farmhouse, and every time I sit down to make a video there are some flies in the lounge because that's where I photograph. Go yeah, yeah, and now you may not hear them, but they catch me out of the corner of my ear, and I'm going like, oh god, this place. So I have to hunt them down with a fly swatter. So it's because you sit there and we talk about photography, and I go through all this sort of stuff, and sometimes YouTube tells me people on your channel are not watching the content because they don't care. Actually, they don't say that at all. They say people are not, regular viewers of your channel are not showing as much interest in your content. And you go, okay, well that's because I know why, because I'm talking about something that is not wildly interesting and stuff like that. But you keep coming back. You guys keep coming. You that one there, you keep coming back, and it is all. It is. I keep saying it's because it is because of you. So we've got Amber's Eye. I said earlier, if you search for my name, Alex Kilby, if you go in the Facebook group, and Warren, if you're still online, I'll get a link anyway. We'll do a bit of shameless plugging. I'll just get the Facebook. So if you go to the Facebook group and look for me, there's a thingy. What I'll do, I'll tell you what. I'll if you want to. This is my. Let's just look at photos. I am most of my photography recently is on Facebook. And this is kind of like whatever stuff. Now, obviously, there's some personal stuff in there. It's all freely available to see. I have no secrets. I don't mind. But if you go to some of my albums, photos, stuff like that, you'll see a lot of my kind of work. I don't have like a website per se, and stuff like that. I'd really, it is so great. I think there is I said this before, and is that there is a friend of mine in America, her and her son, that years ago we sat around the table in her kitchen, and her son wanted to make like Minecraft videos or something like that. And I just seen him say, I don't think you should. I think YouTube is for only a select few people. Blah blah blah. And actually, it's from that conversation that a lot of this channel's impetus got started, because it got me thinking about it. Because there's nothing like getting you thinking about doing something by telling somebody, a child, not to do it. It's like, actually. So to S and J, if you are watching it, thank you. We'll see you soon. And Jay, I will, if the play button has arrived by then, I will bring it over. It's like, what do you do with this in your luggage? I was like, well, because this is how we roll, man. Us YouTubers with the things, we carry our silver play buttons around. Because it gets us to the front of the line when we're at restaurants. Do you know who I am? So yes, it's all those things. It is really. It's. I have to. I mean, I could wax lyrical all night about. About the fact that it really means a great deal to me, because for a long time I was quite lost with my photography. Those of you who do watch the channel sort of regularly may have seen some of the videos where I've talked about, having the studio and its demands on my time, and not taking photographs that I particularly wanted to take photographs of and stuff. And I started this channel as a possibility of a way from that, of a way beyond that. And without any idea, I mean, you start off YouTube, and especially if you're looking to pursue it as a career, as money making thing, it starts off and it goes, okay, well, YouTube go, well, look, you've made a channel, awesome, right? If you want to be monetized, you need 4,000 watch hours and you need 1,000 subscribers. And when you upload a video and within a day it gets like 10 views, and you look and you go, wow, it's had an hour's watch time, you think, that 1,000 subscribers and a 4,000 watch hours seems a long way away, like a long way. And then you get to that, and you think, okay, well, we're cool. You know, I'm now monetized. This is awesome. And you know, you wait. To say, how much money did I make today? And it goes, well, you made $30. And you go, that's not really very good, is it? This is not going to keep me in clover. I did a lifestyle to watch I've been a custard. But then, you know, obviously it carries on and it gets better. But none of that happens without the people who enjoy what you talk about, who can cut through some of the BS and the mumblings that I occasionally waffle about, and go, I enjoy that. It makes me want to pick up a camera. It makes me want to go up and photograph. Not until you've watched like 4 or 5 of my videos, because that kind of helps. And for random people who I've never heard of, and I appreciate there are lots of people. I know some of the names. I mentioned you when I talk about things. You know, when you look at the chat, and I see names that I recognise, like Tanya. Tanya and I, it turns out, we actually grew up in the same suburb in South Africa. It is a tiny suburb, so that's kind of, you know, we sort of connect. But you know, there are all these people that you connect with, that you do realize. But there are you know, loads of people who I don't ever know your names. I don't, you know, you don't comment, and that's fine and stuff. But you come back and you watch the videos day in, day out, week in, week out, and you enjoy it, and I don't know your name, and I can't pick you out, and I can't say, yeah, George from Arkansas or so. Or we have very few viewers from Arkansas, so it's got to be Joe from Arkansas. But you know, but anyway, I can't say thank you to each or every one of you, obviously individually, because it's. I don't know all your names. I do know that you sit here and you come in and you watch and you get something from it, and then you leave, and that's great, because hopefully when you are out taking photographs or something, you know, whatever you do with your camera, that you'll be confronted with a situation, and maybe my voice will pop into your head and go, have you considered this, or trying something? And that's basically what I got from photo school. And that's kind of what I want to share with you, is that it took me 30 years to realize how lucky I was to be exposed to that kind of stuff, and how much it did actually improve my photography. And a lot of you are coming to photography in a retirement, in your later, I say later years, later, I'm going to get a Zimmer frame out, in my later years of photography, I remember, it's like, but you're coming to it later in life, and if I can pass on some of that benefit, so that at least you can get it, you know, get some of it, then job done. You know, I think we've got we've got Film Fridays, and congratulations, thank you ever so much, Film Friday. Calvin's in England, I'm in England represent, you know. We've got Shamek, I know that you say we should take every photograph instead of labeling ourselves. That's fine. Shamek, if you like a specific genre, that's absolutely cool. I'm not saying that you should photograph everything. What I'm sort of saying about genres and stuff is that take inspiration from everywhere, right? And just go with it. Travel photography is awesome. It's a very wide open genre, but don't just take pictures like every other travel photographer, right? Look outside. Be a documentary travel photographer. Be a landscape travel photographer. Be something. Just don't be just thing. Thing. Yeah, that's a technical term. Don't be thing. Okay. Calvin. I'm going to touch on imposter syndrome fairly shortly in one of the videos, because it is a huge problem, and I very nearly dropped out of photo school because of imposter syndrome. So there we go. Hey, see, I was about to say George, but Jorge. I'm 48 as well, and look at this grey temples. It's you guys that do the grey thing, and the fact that none of my seeds. I've been taking on vegetable gardening for the last couple of years. None of my seeds now are turning up. It's awful. Fort Lauderdale, got Switzerland. I haven't been to Switzerland for years. There was somebody who I know. Oh, there was this guy, Heinz. He actually spent some time also in Joburg. And lovely. I'm rocking an Avedon hairstyle now. Hey, John. See, there we go. Yes, hello, John. See, it's names like that. But that's it. We were just talking about, not knowing names of people and stuff. But the thing is, I don't know your names individually. And in fact, I think there's only like kind of 3 of you I could pick out of a crowd. But if we can get all of you right now round to the house, I'll show you my chickens. We can share what's left of this, and I have a can of gin and tonic downstairs. But it is really it is a whole. It's a whole thing that I have so much I want to talk to you or talk with you about. That nothing makes me happier than talking about random stuff, about photography and other random things. And your support that allows me to keep doing that, because this is the thing we talked about earlier about algorithms and YouTube pushing things and stuff like that. Is that it is a game. It is a game that you need to get. It's also so it's interesting. So Michael says in my real life. No, our chickens are idiots. They just chase me around the whole time. We have 2 like kind of normal chickens. We have 2 bantams and a speckly chicken. I don't know what it's called. My wife knows the make. The brand. I don't know the breed. But we've called that one spatchcock. Well, I've called it spatchcock. I wanted to call them all spatchcock, peri and like lemon butter and stuff like that. And then my wife said no. So we called one spatchcock, and then Asher called one of them lettuce, and then and my wife called them all like Betty and Isabel and all sorts of things. Hey Petros, how you doing, man? That's pretty cool. They're awesome, but they make the tiniest little eggs. What am I supposed to do with this? I have scrambled eggs, but I like poached eggs, right? What are poached eggs? So fortunately, the two normal chickens, they make decent sized eggs. So, but we got eggs coming out of our ears. Maybe that'll be the next channel. Photography and eggs, or eggs and chickens, or chickens and photography. I don't know, I'd be like the Imogen Cunningham of chicken photographers, or something. Tanya's got a great idea. We'll all come around for a braai, and if anybody's a vegetarian, we can have halloumi and, well, that maybe if you're vegan, then we'll have to get actually vegan braai. I'm sure we could find something. There's also yeah, you know, it's lovely. Anyway, I have to say, it is, because what will happen is I will spend the rest of the night just saying you guys are lovely, which you are. You're wonderful. And I know videos have been a bit slow recently. It's mostly because I've had everything. Obviously, there was a push at the beginning of the year. I was doing like 3 videos a week, and as much as I enjoyed them, I felt that some of the topics I was just kind of making stuff up. Well, maybe not making stuff up, but going through, sort of waking up and going, I need to make a video today, and what should I talk about? Oh, I'll talk about this, and that's fine because they're conversational things, and what have you. But I also want to make content. I appreciate the time that you put in, the value of your investment from watching the channel. And I want to make videos that are oh, thank you, man. That's so much. Look at like Jorge Chavez, or Michael, I'll just say, is #1 fan. Awesome, dude. Thank you ever so much. Hi, Stacey. Hello. Or goodbye. Who knows? It's hello or goodbye. You say goodbye, I say hello, goodbye. I worked on a Beatles show once, and I really like hello, goodbye. Yeah, just with the thing. It's about finding a balance. It's about finding a balance that obviously creates videos that will help the channel grow. Because I'd like to talk to more people, and to help encourage people like yourselves who have found something to also join the channel and enjoy the content. But also it's a fine balancing act, because you have to kind of make content that appeals to some masses, but also the thing is, these sort of hi Stacey. So Stacey, you're in Suffolk. Whereabouts in Suffolk? Or you don't know about us there, Suffolk? Or you don't know because we got our chatter down here. I don't know. If you're down by the coast, you're slightly on the end. But yeah, whereabouts are you from? Just sort of roughly. Obviously, you don't need to give me a postcode and an address and all that sort of stuff. It's I spent we did that show that we did, the Beatles tribute show, that ran for 2.5 years. We did about 700 odd shows of that, so we did the same show 700 times. So let's say by the end of the 700 shows, you can do the photo spotting, you can do the lighting and stuff like that without even thinking about it. So we used to talk a lot of nonsense and do songs on the gantry and stuff like that. See, mind value. What do I get? Well, obviously, being completely crass about it, there is a monetary benefit. It's not huge. I would say, that each video doesn't. If you're between Ipswich and Colchester, Stacey, then you can't be much far away from me because I'm in Thetford. Or you're probably in Bury if you're being that elusive about it, or like Needham Market somewhere, or Stoma. You're not in Stoma. If you're in Stone Market, oh no. There you go. My wife had she's still awake. Bloody hell, she's still watching. So the speckled chicken is a silver spangled apazenta. Oh, really? Did you, Tanya? Wow. That's, who knew? Look at everybody's like. Just tell you lived in Warner Valley. You worked in Dis. We live like half an hour from Dis. Anyway. So the value, yeah, obviously the monetary value, which is individual on an individual video level. It's not huge. So that's one thing, and obviously the channel as a whole gives me an income, as does the courses, excuse me, and what have you. See, Stacey's being mysterious. An hour from Thetford, but you're in between Bury and not Stowmarket. In between Ipswich and Colchester. Sorry, I thought you said. Cambridge. I used to down the A12 sort of way. Anyway, it's Haverhill. I'm going to be guessing names. Yeah. So the benefit for me is obviously so monetary. There's AdSense and there's course sales and stuff like that. But the other part is, and it's hard to quantify this, is that I have, through a lot of my life, enjoyed sharing information, enjoyed passing on stuff. Look at that, we're down to 102. God, if I keep talking, I'm going to shut up now. I can shush. If I keep talking, it will keep going down. I've enjoyed. This is people who see like a thing come across and go, oh, there's that channel. I don't really watch it anymore. See, told you, down. The more that I talk, it keeps going down. It's Jorge is asked me, and this is what I get before. See, somebody wants me to go hey again. This is what happens when you get new time zones. This is my stuff getting pushed out. No, so what I was going to say is, yeah. So aside from the monetary value, what is it? You just do this for money, or you do? I think you find if people are doing things just for the money, then you get a feeling for it, right? You get a feeling for whatever it is that they're doing, that there is a hollowness, an emptiness that you sort of see. It's like those channels, we've all seen those channels that are a computerized voice. I am looking, see, hey, underneath, we're down to 900. Why would you sit there and go, I'm going to be the person. I'm going to be the person who takes stitch. See, 99. It will hop. It will fiddle around like this, right? This is whenever there is a live stream, I find that subs go down because people see things come across their notifications. Go, I'm sub. I don't like this. Yeah, you see these people talking about stuff that is kind of made just to appeal to a demographic, and what happens is when you watch something like that, it doesn't resonate, it doesn't connect with you. I'm always tentative about talking about I in this channel because it's not really me. This channel's not about me per se. This isn't like one of the channels. I got witnesses. I got it on video. This channel's not about me. Okay, so the channel's not. It's not Alec Kilby, right? It's about photography. Anyway, so I have always enjoyed passing on my, I don't want to say knowledge, but my interest with other people who want to share that. And what happens is that I create something that I go, do you know, I really like this. I like Obi Oberhaus, or I like this photograph, I like these things, I like that, or what have you. And would you be interested in hearing my opinion, or hopefully getting something from you, hearing me talk about these things? And it is nice, I will say, to be able to make a living, an income from doing that. But there is also those emails that come through, unbidden, from people all see, ecstatic oranges. See, they've been the one. They've been the ecstatic orange. You have missed out. We've been up and down over 100,000, loads. We were up to like 200,000 at one point. It's been also. If we're up all night, come on, it will be just. It's. How can I lose, like, you know, all these people? It's like 5 unsubs. Yeah, so it's kind of, that was the thing. What I really enjoyed, what I love, is being able to pass on some of that stuff, some of the interest that I have with photography, and I kind of I think about something my dad said a couple of years ago when we were sitting around dinner table, and he said, "Oh, you were talking about sort of regrets or something." He says the regret that I have is that I never went to university. I never studied anything after I left school. He's 81 now, so he left school in the mid-50s, when going to university was a big deal, and he'd never said this before. How can you just look at this? 7 in like the space of a couple of minutes. You guys, it's you. It's you. You know, so he kind of, you know, he said, this is kind of the thing, you know, he didn't get that opportunity, and I remember that, 96, I remember how excited Mum and Dad were when I got accepted to photo school, and I also remember how disappointed that he was when I closed the studio. But I said to him that I have been given an opportunity to do something that I love, which is help people, explain people, share interests and knowledge to other people. You know, either through Scouts or with my son, or this is explain a thing. My dad used to always explain. If I asked him a question, he would explain stuff to me, or the answer to me, and I see this as a continuation of that, is that I am able to take some things that I have a modicum of experience with, and some knowledge about, and an interest and a passion for, and share them with people who never had the opportunity, for whatever reason, to pursue these interests for the most part as when they were younger. You know, you may have considered doing a creative career when you were younger, and maybe your parents said no, maybe the dice didn't fall that way or something like that, and you now want to do this, and I had the benefit. I was lucky enough to fall. The dice fell in my in my favor for doing that sort of thing, and I have the ability, because I appreciate that also not everybody does have the ability to pass on interest and pass on expertise in a way that is actually engaging and, I dare say, interesting. And I feel that it would be a crying shame that if this was not passed on. That you can't say to people, look, there are other options, the technical things, all the things. They are important, but there is so much more to this that you don't get from the books, that you don't get from the tutorials and things that you find when you're looking to improve as a photographer, that were, dare I say, between the cracks when I studied photography. Obviously there was a whole module on visual communication, but it's those things in between. It's the things that are in between the main supports of the art form that make it come alive, that make your photography better, that whatever better is, that's a whole other discussion. And really this is kind of the things. Calvin, it should be, every live video should be on it should be on YouTube to rewatch later on. I don't necessarily have to do anything specific. Yeah, this is so John's saying he was he's a jinx. This is what happens when you do live streams. There's lots of people who go, there are people who just don't like live streams. That's kind of it. I think that's the thing. It's Petrus, that's kind of the thing. When I hear stuff, obviously we've spoken. That's what I mean. I sit there and I go, that's awesome, man. That is fab. Seeing an RPM of like 10 or something like that, you're gonna go, ooh, that's cool. But listening to people, to sharing stories with people, to hearing how I have been able to connect with you in some way and help you rediscover your own path through photography, then that is awesome. That it's all sorts of things. Yeah, it is. It's see, hi Kenneth, and we've been doing this for like almost 2 hours now, and we've been over 100,000 a few times. But that's cool. You're here. Everybody pretend that we haven't been over 100,000 yet. Okay, we'll just pretend. It's kind of it's one of the things. It's the channel is weird. There are lots of everybody who watches the channel is awesome. Everybody who subscribes to the channel is even awesomer. But there are some people for whom there is a definition of what they like and what they don't like, and things like that, and everybody has a finite amount of attention to give, and when you do things like this, I don't always say it separates the wheat from the chaff, because that's kind of the wrong impression. But there will be people who see this thing and I haven't got time, I don't like live streams, I don't like this, I don't like that, whatever, and they just kind of unsub, which is a thing. But hey, my mantra for 2022 should be don't chase views, don't chase the views. We've got Steve from Texas. It's cool. I think looking at Hickenson, his new videographer, photographer. I think this is kind of it's the more I kind of listen to. I hear from people watching the channel, things like that. Oh, look at that, 999. Should we do another selfie? I'll do a selfie part 2. Another one, just for people who are not here now, or people who are here now, because let me just fix the hair, sorted. All right, so I've got Avedon kind of hair. Here we go. Look at this. Look at that. Is it going to kick? Is it going to kick over? Is it going to go down? Is it going to go down? We're going to do that. Boom. No, there we go. It's going to. We'll do 999. Just pretend. That looks. Oh, God, my hair looks terrible. It's. You know the boo boo. It's going to go down. Boo boo. This is going to happen every time it gets near 100,000, isn't it? It's going to go up and down. Yeah. I think we'll I'm going to say we'll tick over to 100,000 now. Yeah. It's kind of, you know. This has been a very long waffle about me sort of going, why do I do this? I think it boils down to the fact that when I was young, I had that benefit of I don't know. It's like is somebody? Maybe I should just go to the post, get rid of it. There's a post here. Whoops, that's the wrong thing. Oh, because otherwise you'll see. Sorry, I can see what I'm doing all my things. See, if I go analytics. This video hasn't had any views since it was published. The subscribers is another thing. I'm going to get rid of that post. I think it's a post. I think there is a post that is this post that's going around, and people it's coming up on the things, and people just unsub. Anyway, no, why would I do that? Screw it. You know, if you don't, hey, see, I missed it 'cause I'm too busy mucking around on the other screen. Oh, ridiculous. Merlot. Do you know, you're right. Let's get a kebab and go to a disco. Right, okay. Yes, I've actually made another 100,000. Let's get another selfie. Woohoo! All right. Selfie. Hello, everybody. Ooh. Oh, that's a terrible selfie. Jesus. Let's try it this way. No, you don't want to see my teeth. What is going? There we go. That is awful. Oh God. There we go. Hey! It's like if you've ever watched Spaced, there's a Channel 4 sitcom from Channel 4, yeah, from the early 2000s, and they go way. Anything's red, with the exception of Rioja. If you'd like to donate red wine to the channel, anything but Rioja. Thank you very much. Beaujolais, quite nice. Beaujolais Village. Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff. Hey, congrats! Thank you, everybody. It is, it's lovely to once again reach 100,000. I should just do this all the time. I say, right, everybody unsub, and then tomorrow we'll just do this again. It's like, yeah, we'll go bonk. Anyway, boom. It's almost finished. This was a bottle of hidden sec. I was looking at the champagnes in. No, I don't often shop at Sainsbury's because I find their stores quite dystopian. But I was looking at the champagne. I thought, well, I could buy a bottle of Moet, but it was just going to be me and the wife, so I figured we'll keep it low key. Yeah. No, it is. I really, I very much appreciate it. I know this sounds like a stuck record tonight, but if I think about my grandpa Willie, who he passed away when I was. I would have been like 8 at the time, and I don't know what camera he used to have, but I know he was very much in the manner of the keen amateur up in Scotland, and in his house in Rutherglen there was a they lived in a one up one down thing, and under the stairwell he had a dark room, and there was always kind of weird chemicals that, you know, as a kind of a 7-year-old, you were told, no, you don't go in there and play with the chemicals and stuff. But they had like the funny smell, and obviously Fix has got a very distinctive smell, and sorry, stop. Obviously it's vinegar, sort of smell of acetic acid, and Fixes has its ish smell, and whenever I processed film, whenever I was in a dark room or whatever, the smells and the tactile nature of things and stuff would take me back to that. And it's all of this kind of stems from him and my father doing basically what I do now, which is I showed an interest in something, and they took the time to introduce me to it, to draw back that curtain, if you want to wax lyrical, on the alchemy of photography, because it is an alchemy, both on a physical level and both on a and then also on a visual level. That there is magic and there's a mystery to it, and I think ultimately, we shouldn't forget that it isn't just lenses and pixel counts and sensor sizes and stuff like that. It's things that we are drawn to, and I think on that note, I am going to before I really get maudlin, because if I think about that stuff too much, it gets me thinking. Anyway, if I get really maudlin, it'll be too much. Anyway, so ladies, gentlemen, for the second time this evening, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, it's been awesome actually. I don't know anybody else who got over 100,000 like 6 times. Do you think I get 6 play buttons? That would be awesome. It has been an absolute pleasure talking with you both this evening, sharing our journeys together over the last year and a half. And for perspective, it took a year to get 50,000 subs, so it's taken 6 months to get what have you. There is if I could invite you all around right now, then I would. I do feel that now that COVID-y kind of shit is hopefully receding into the rearview mirror, that we can have a proper get together at some point. I know that obviously there's quite a few people in the States. Some people in South Africa have already reached out to me and said, "Hey, if you're down this way, come through." I might like to do some things in the UK. There's a guy in Spain who's suggested some get-togethers and things, and I think it'd be nice. I think it'd be lovely to take this thing here and get rid of it, and have a chat with you all in person, because I've got a roll of UPVC tape that we need to get rid of. So those of you who stuck around from the beginning of the stream, you'll know that this was bought in error. It was supposed to be gaffer tape, but anyway, that's my next channel, is how to go shopping for homewares properly. Something like that. Nicholas, I'm going to assume you're I'm terribly sorry you're here. And now we're going to stop. Right, Nicholas has got here. We're going to cut it off. Thank you, everybody. It has been it's been absolutely awesome. I can't adequately describe how deeply thankful I am to all of you for being here, for me actually starting the stream, because I have done a critique once where I forgot to actually start the stream and I spent an hour talking to myself. which is like, you know, it's all sorts of things like that. Yeah, Nicholas, I'm so sorry you turn up and go, hey, we have a live stream, and now we're all going to go. But Nicholas, thank you. I see, you know, it's great. Warren's here. You know, everybody, all you guys, like, you know, it's this week is Jubilee week here in the UK. So old Queenie, she's been on the throne for 70 years. Wow, that's, you know, I'm a granny, I'm going to live forever. So that's pretty cool. You know, and I'm sure there'll be lots of things going on. And as much as we tend to forget about these things here in the UK, that is an historic moment. That will probably not happen again. So, you know, it might actually be worth photographing. You know, who knows? It's those kind of things. But, you know, it just goes to show that the words of one of my old lecturers ring true when we were sitting around at photo school in 1994, in the run-up to the South African elections, you know, with the ANC and all that sort of stuff. And he said, look at you guys, you're all sitting around smoking, talking crap, and being lazy students. Outside in the street, history is happening. Go and photograph it. And did we? No, we did not. So don't be that person. Go out this weekend, find some history, go and photograph it, or make your own history. But anyway, ladies, gentlemen, once again, all of you, I love you all from the bottom of my heart, and thank you for making this channel what it is. Anyway, so 100,004 subscribers. Who knew? Anyway, stick around. I'm sure that there will be a new video soon, and thank you ever so much. I really do appreciate it so much.